Can you hear me? Yes, hello. Can you hear me, Ibn Zakariya? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you. I don't know if you can hear me too.
Oh, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. How are you doing?
Fine, and you?
Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you very much. So, okay, Ibn Zakariya, welcome to COGS session. Thank you so much for taking out your time to be here. And thank you for heeding to the call when I said, please, you're going to be the next person. Thank you for opening the month of August. August to
Yes.
be a very good month for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Thanks for
tonight
having
we're going to
me.
be talking about being you on purpose. Being you on purpose. And this I drew out this title because of your book, the Being You on Purpose book. And I read that and I was wowed. So I felt like, okay, I need my people to be able to get from this too. So yes, it is very, very important that we bring Ibn Zakariya to come speak to us. So I'll mute myself now and you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Belkis. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys can hear me, actually. And I'm so glad to be here tonight, doing what I do best. It's amazing. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's quickly jump on the topic. Being you on purpose. As she said, I have a book titled Being You on Purpose. A book that was inspired from my own self. Well, many of my books are inspired from my own self, from different stages of my life. I'm still a very young guy, actually, but growing up, I experienced a lot of lessons. I learned a lot of lessons from life, a lot of lessons from people, from my childhood days, being bullied in class, being the shy type that could not express himself, then going from a shy boy to a boy trained to speak in public, to lead people, to attend programs. In fact, to teach seniors. I taught my seniors when I was in primary school. When I was in primary four, I would be taken by my English teacher to the class to teach my seniors. As he would say
Wow.
then, he would say, I can tell all of you to just leave this place now, and if you go outside to represent us. So when I was in primary four, I remember I went out to represent my school then in a competition, and it was amazing. So I had all these experiences, and growing up, I also faced certain challenges like my depression days, falling into perfectionism, and also trying to be that hard guy and all that. Okay, so all this inspired the book actually. All right, so I'll tell you a story. I believe you learn a lot from the story. Okay, I don't want to start from my childhood days. We don't have a lot of time. I would have loved to tell you my uh, biography. Okay, but you read that in one of my books and things. I'm writing a book that will tell my story from my childhood days up to now. All right, so I'll start from 2019 when I started my journey of being a graphic designer. It was amazing. It was amazing because oh, sorry about that. It was amazing because I wanted to become a graphic designer. I decided to be. My parents did not force me. So when my dad asked me then that, okay, now you are just sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? I just thought about, okay, what about graphic design? I did not really know much about it then, but I knew that I had passion for drawing. I used to draw when I was in primary school. I had two friends who we would draw together then. I wrote comic books. I wrote comic books. So I just decided to become a graphic designer. And it was fun, actually. It was fun. But at a point, I just stopped because it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. Like, I thought it was going to be fun all through, but it got to a point like I was being oppressed. You know, Shelley, I just started this thing, and you guys are making it seem like I should have done this. I should be able to do this. Then the first school I attended, the first graphic design school I attended, there were these guys there who would go to YouTube, they would watch YouTube videos, then they would recreate logos, they would recreate designs. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Maybe this is what graphic design is about. And I saw myself as somebody that could not be that. Why would I go to YouTube and watch videos and create logos? So I was like, this is a waste of time. All these things going on is art. How would I be drawing logo? Is that what graphic design is doing? So I left Lagos. I traveled to Ibadan to meet my cousin, who's also a graphic designer. I spent 6 months with him. There, I started learning from scratch. And the first thing he told me then was that very soon, when you become a graphic designer, when you start learning, you will start reading the banners. Like, why will I be reading banners? Why will I be reading billboards? But now I can say that I've almost had an accident because whenever I'm walking on the road, okay, so this is not about billboards. So then I spent 6 months at Ibadan, and it was amazing because it showed me what being a graphic designer truly was. I was exposed to how to sketch, digital sketching. I was exposed to how to create logos from scratch. I was exposed to how to think, creative thinking. He did not tell me to go to YouTube to watch videos and recreate anything. Okay, he did not tell me to look at people's design and recreate them. He taught me how to create these things. He taught me how to mesh colors, how to create beautiful designs. And I saw the passion in him, how he always created these things, and he did it like he was born to do it. Okay, but he was the kind of person that inspired me. He never forced me to become a pro. Okay, he took me steadily. He helped me throughout the journey. And it was amazing because when I came back to Lagos and I went back to my computer school, the guys that were oppressing me, I oppressed them. When they saw me designing, I taught them how to use Photoshop. They were like, wow, Omo, if I say you don't go college jazz, you don't sabi this for passwords. What was the lesson from that? When I started because I wanted this thing. I wanted to do this thing. But when I started doing it, I was oppressed because the people doing it make it seem like this is all it is about. And that's the case with many of us. When you want to do something, see, I'm not talking about self-discovery tonight. I'm not telling you about self-discovery. I believe you would have had that a lot of time. People talk about discover yourself, discover your purpose. And I'm glad that growing up, I was able to discover my purpose throughout my journey in life. Like gradually, like when I was young, during my primary school, from primary two, I started becoming a class captain from primary two. Until I finished my secondary school, I held that position. So from primary two, I was a class captain. And even when I changed school, when I got to my new school, and my mom took us there, with my older sister was in primary five there. The headmaster told us that we can't register because they're starting exam next week. And it is taught them, how are we going to cope? My mom said we were going to cope. So he tested me, he gave me primary six reader then. If you read this reader, I've forgotten but you remember all these readers. I think the title was, it's very common, I can't really remember. And I wrote the exam, I came second when I wrote the exam. That was the last time I became second in that school. That was the last time because afterwards, I started taking the first position and I became the class captain right from primary two. And I will push forward to represent the class when we have quiz competitions between the boys and girls. I will be the one to represent the boys. And I had this girl who would always cry there whenever I beat her. And it was amazing because growing up, I was trained. I was brought up to become a leader right from my childhood. So it was amazing. But when I grew up and I discovered that, okay, this is what I want to be. I want to become a graphic designer. Now, the problem is the people. That's one problem you face. People who don't know what they are doing will make you feel like what you want to do is how they do it. I don't know if you get that. People have this opinion of, okay, this is what content writing is. If you are not writing your content like this, then you are not writing content. And I'd be like, yeah, I thought content writing is all about being creative because I actually become a content writer because I have the creativity in me. So you are limiting me to a certain space and you're telling me this is how it is. Okay, so it's different from having rules. There are rules in graphic design. We have rules. We have graphic design rules. We have principles. But there is no limitation to your creativity. But these guys made it feel like that because I thought graphic design was all about drawing and all that. But when I met my cousin, he made me know that it was more than that. So the first thing is, when in your journey of being you, know the right people to take knowledge from. Okay, that's one thing that helped me change my mindset because really I was tired, I was frustrated with all these guys. I spent 3 months, I did not get anything. the owner of the institution too would come there and be like, Zakariya, that's why they call me Zakariya. Hope you are looking at what they are doing. I'll be like, those people, they are doing something I don't even understand. Like, it looks so stressful to me and all limited. Okay, so, but they were the local champions then. So when I came back, I had taken knowledge from someone who knew better and was more exposed. It helped me. But that wasn't all. Even if you've taken the knowledge from someone who knows the right thing, moving further, I became a graphic designer in 2019. And moving further, I experienced some blocks too that I stopped designing for like 3 months. I stopped designing because this thing seemed
Wow.
like, okay, now I've learned how to design, I've learned the principles, I've learned how to use CorelDRAW perfectly. But whenever I go online, oppressors everywhere, you will see designs, they'll be like, oh, more, no, I don't create this one. When I go be like this,
Hmm.
and I know some people listening to me out that mindset, like, I'm not good enough. No, I can't do this, I can't do this. I can't do this. So it limited me a lot. So I stopped designing for like 3 months. In fact, I became an editor because graphic design will pay me that way. It's always stressful. I hate stress. And whenever I see design, I'll be like, God, wait, I cannot create this. Especially before I became a brand identity designer. Whenever I see logos, I'll be like, that person create this one. Me, I don't have to create this thing, show me. So that was the orientation I had there. But I grew out of it because I had mentors, I had coaches I could run to. So I spoke to one of my mentors and he told me that I could decide to quit being a graphic designer because I'm scared. Or I could decide to go back to it because I'm scared. Okay. So the other thing is, I always love talking about this. I like classifying fear into 3 things. I don't think I had a fear of starting. That's the first kind of fear. And the second kind of fear is fear of moving on. Even when you started, you feel like, no, I can't move on with this. There are many people doing it. Why will I do it? Then that purpose you've discovered, that purpose or that self you've discovered, you will stop building on it and you start limiting yourself. And sometimes it pays off that for months, some people experience this for years. They will stop being what they think they could be or what they told themselves they want to be because you are scared of continuing, you are scared of moving on. And this is always the fear that limits many people and it stops you from doing a lot of things. Okay, so if you are listening to me this evening, I'm telling you that you started already. I know you started. You started discovering yourself. You started identifying your purpose. This is what you want to become. But please don't let that fear. I know something in your mind is telling you that no, I can't continue this way. Pressure in corner. There are people doing better than I am. I can't meet up to them. People are making money doing this, and I'm just starting out. Okay, now I love doing this thing. When people come to me and be like, I love doing this thing, but I don't think I can continue because it's choking. There are thousands of people writing copy for people. There are thousands of people designing for people. Where do I want to come in? Like, hey, just create your own style. Okay. When you embrace the fear, I said my mentor told me that I can stop because I'm scared, or I can move on because I'm scared. So I embraced the fear. Okay. I told myself I was not going to stop because I love doing this thing. One thing that will make you know you love something is when you see others doing it and you feel oppressed, do that thing. That thing that is oppressing you, do it. So that was one thing that helped me. When he told me that you can decide to move on or stop. So I decided to move on. And it paid in the long run, it paid. So it wasn't that easy. I would design, I would post, I would mute some set of people because I don't want them to laugh at me. I wasn't that so confident in myself. Even while I decided to move on, I would mute them. So sometimes I would post in certain groups on Facebook, there will be no like. In fact, the admin might not even approve it because to them it does not match their standard. I said something about people limiting what you are doing to their own standard, to what they think it should be. Sometimes you would write, you are a creative writer, you would write a content, and when you post, people would rubbish you because to them it doesn't make sense. But if it makes sense to you, then it's fine. It doesn't need to make sense to them. You are the one that knows what you are doing. See, I've said take knowledge from the right people. People who will tell you the right thing. Secondly, embrace that fear. Okay, so the third point is do what you love doing. Find your own creativity. Be confident in yourself. Like, I'm doing this not because of you. So I kept on posting, and then they approved my post. Oh no, hey God, it was as if I was dash a wife. Like they gave me Yawusa. It was like, I was like, hey, NGD approved my post. If you know NGD, you know how toxic they can be. NGD approved my post. It was a big win for me. So it gave me a kind of confidence, but it was that kind of confidence that was short-timed. You would experience this when you are trying to be you. You would have that confidence, but it will be short-timed. Like you started, but then it will get to a point where the confidence will just die because you've limited yourself. Now people are not limiting you; you are the one limiting yourself to certain set of people. Okay, who make you feel like you are doing the right thing. All right. So sorry about that. So when you limit yourself to this set of people, you would start feeling confident when you are amidst them. But when you get to certain places, that confidence will die. That's the case with many people. Like you can speak amidst your friend, but when you get to a large gathering, your voice is gone. You can't speak anymore. What should you do? Keep building. I've told you to take knowledge from the right people, ask questions, seek guidance, embrace your fears, be confident, but don't let that confidence die off. See, the thing about confidence is when you embrace your fear, there will be a time where it will die off. Like you won't feel confident anymore. You are confident, you are confident that I'm doing the right thing, but it will get to a point where your creativity level will be zero. You will feel like, oh, I'm useless, I beg. Oh, all this things are no easy. See, if you are in the creative niche, you will understand what I'm saying better. If you are a designer, even if you are a fashion designer, you will see people creating designs and be like, hey, Obo, please have I get certificate. I finished this work. Like, see, I can say that I stopped feeling oppressed recently in 2022 by people's design. Whenever I see a beautiful designer, I'll just comment. I would admire it. I would admire it and encourage the person if the person is not doing right. Because I know that me gone, I'll be boss for that niche already. So there was a time where people would tell me I'm good. I knew I was good within me, but I was still scared to show my work to some people. So you would experience that too. You would experience that because this thing would go and come. Your confidence will feel high when you are with certain set of people, but then when you get somewhere else and the confidence just die off because you are scared about what those people are going to say. Now go back to what I said that you should create your own style. When you have your own style, you don't care about what people say. See, I always say this every time. Since I discovered myself, since I discovered that I am the son of my father, I'm Ibn Zakariyyah, I always tell people that regardless of whatever you say, it doesn't make me change who I am. I will never, I will never strive to be anyone else. Okay? If you are striving to be somebody else, you will kill yourself. You will die. You will die, and all your talents, all your potentials will become useless because you'll be walking under the shadow of someone. See, we have many copywriters in Nigeria who could become great copywriters, but they take knowledge from coaches who don't want them to grow. And they are also scared to grow because their coach will always tell them to copy the copy of great people. So if you are the one that copy people's copy, you won't be able to write your own. And there are few people that will tell you this truth. Okay, in my niche, as a graphic designer, some graphic design coach will tell you to copy designs as a beginner. I don't tell my students to copy designs. I tell them not to copy designs. If you are my students, you create your own designs. I have students who take my course, but they've never replicated my design. Sometimes I get just like, is my design not fine? But then I remember that I taught them to not to actually copy anything. Just get inspiration. Do not copy. Never copy. So when you don't copy others and you try to be yourself, you are able to push yourself further. You are able to build on that knowledge, and you keep being yourself without feeling oppressed. Okay. I don't know if you are with me. I want to see your comments. I want to see your comments. You can type purpose if you are with me and you are listening. So being yourself is very important to scale through your journey because in the long run, you will sit back and be like, okay, what have I achieved? What have I become? I'm a graphic designer. What have I really created? Have I created actual designs from my own brain or I have always copied people's design? I'm a copywriter. Have I written an actual copy that functions for a purpose? Or I've always copied people's copy? See, if you follow all the process I've given you, you'll be able to remain being you on your journey to purpose. I said, take knowledge from somebody who tell you the right thing to do, not people who make you feel oppressed, or people who limit their own knowledge, who limit knowledge to what they know. Some coaches will limit knowledge to what they know, and it will make you feel like you cannot know more than what they know. Okay? So I don't believe that. I read books. I read books a lot. But I have this in me. It's part of the training I was given while growing up. I was trained to be a critic. I was trained to be a critic, so I could criticize people's designs, people's books. When you do something, I can criticize. I love criticizing people. I tell people I do that. That's who I am. I cannot change that. Some people see it as a bad thing, but no. There should be people like me who would criticize people because I love people criticizing my work too. When you criticize my work, the truth is, for like 5 minutes, I will feel sad because I spent hours doing something and you're telling me that I'm not doing it well. But then that's why we have constructive criticism. But even with constructive criticism done, you will still feel sad when somebody tells you that your work is bad. Because even if I tell you that, you could do this, you could do this better. This one is not okay enough. I'm still telling you to. What I'm still telling you is that you are not doing it. So the same thing I'm still telling you is that you are not doing it right with packaging. Like you can do better. This is not actually okay, but you can do better. Packaging, I'm still telling you that you are not doing it right, but I'm just doing it with common sense. Okay. So to wrap this up, don't let me waste your time. I spent over 20 minutes already on your journey to purpose. One thing that would help you to remain being you or how to be you on purpose is to identify your strengths and weaknesses. I cannot overemphasize this. I said I was opportune to discover myself early. When I was in secondary school, I encountered a problem. I had this orientation of perfectionism. I wanted everything to be perfect. If you are doing something, you must be perfect. I think that was my orientation because I thought I was perfect. I was always neat. I was a senior prefect. So I was the best dressed student in my school too, as a senior prefect. Because I always wanted to stand out. So me trying to stand out pushed me into perfectionism and it affected me. How? So if you are doing something, I would criticize my fellow prefects then that it's got to a point that they fear me. Teachers in my school feared me because if a teacher should tell you something and it is wrong, I will tell you that you should tell that teacher that what that teacher said is wrong. Okay, so I believe that I was being courageous. I believe that I had this knowledge, but I was just I was seeing all the wrong in people while telling myself that I'm perfect. So people should be perfect. And it affected me in the long run.
Not careful, but we're already in, and we'll do better next time. Yes, yes, yes. We'll do better next time.
Um, can I